It's my community too. I'm Rusty Dawkins, Chief Meteorologist for Channel 8, and I'm not going anywhere.
Toughness, strength, passion, results. When your team takes the field, this is what you expect. And if you've been injured, this is what you will get when you work with Friedman Law Offices. We don't battle it out on the field, we battle it out in the courtroom. Friedman Law suits up against the insurance company and fights hard for the compensation you deserve, helping injured people. It's what we do, it's all we do. Call Friedman Law, 402-476-1093.
When your garage door starts acting different,
you need a trusted team on your side.
We fix all issues with quick service for our neighbors.
And now you'll save 10% on all doors and openers.
Don't stress, call Access.
Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News Midday.
We begin with the big events happening tonight. A block party right in the heart of downtown Lincoln in the midst of a large construction project. The Project No Street block party is taking over 14th and O Streets today. It's a way the city is supporting local businesses through Project O Street, which will revamp one of Lincoln's more iconic roads and also give its music district a fresh look. The celebration featuring local bands, AM/FM, Church of Blues, and other performers. There will be free parking available at the garages you see next to me, including University Square Garage from 5 to 11:30. You can also see the streets that will be blocked off, and that yellow box here in the middle, that's where it'll all be happening. They have shut down O Street between 13th and 16th Streets for the party. You're looking at roads here already being blocked off. They are expected to be closed until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. The city is encouraging people to just find a different route when it's closed, and keep this in mind for your evening and morning commute tomorrow. New this morning, we're hearing new details on that massive Memorial Stadium renovation. Many are worried the $600 million project will take away the best part of being a Husker fan, the family affair. And with a higher price tag means more expensive tickets. Well, Athletic Director Troy Dannon went on the Huskers Radio Network and said that will not be the case.
We still have to do it in a way that everybody that's coming to the stadium today can still come tomorrow. You know, starting with the fact that we wanted to make sure from an affordability standpoint, the most affordable seats in the building are still there, and maybe even more affordable moving forward.
Construction has already started in a minor capacity at the stadium. Associate AD for Capital Planning, Courtney Gosha, says it's happening in the Lower West Stadium where there's some older offices. He also gave a little clearer timeline of what we can expect to see at the end of this year.
At the conclusion of football season, we will move very aggressively to essentially demo the South Stadium first, and then the West Bowl will come down. And so that will be the most visual thing that our fans will see.
We're going to be staying on top of this story as it's happening on our Now Local News app. That's where we'll be sharing updates throughout this 2-year-long process. All right, let's go to weather here this morning. A little overcast, but there's some sun been poking out here and there. Not too shabby temperature-wise either. Let's get on over to meteorologist Dominic Ferraro, who's got a closer look in our first forecast here for us. Good morning, Dominic.
Hey, good morning, Andrew. Coming in a little bit of a cooler close here to the month of April, but lots of sunshine we've seen the past couple of days anyway, especially here yesterday morning. That was a nice day out there. But today, a little more cloud cover for that forecast, and then we'll be sticking in with some slightly cooler temperatures here heading into the weekend. Here's a look over the capital city now, and their Barry Law camera temperatures here at the Lincoln Airport. 56 degrees, though it's 59 here at the KLKN Studios. Winds now out of the north between 15 and maybe close to the 20 miles per hour out there. A little bit breezy, but it shouldn't be anything to ruin any afternoon plans, that's for sure. Temperatures across the state, upper 40s to then lower to middle 50s. Even a few spots there climbing to the upper 50s. Beatrice at 58, Hebron at 57, Grand Island then at 53, and then you get a little cooler as you head off to the north. It's 42 too there in O'Neill. Taking a look at those winds, mainly a little bit breezy here in eastern Nebraska along the I-80 corridor. A few spots there have made their way less than 10 miles per hour for those winds, and variable cloud cover for much of the state as well, though any chances at showers look to be just outside of the borders here. So likely going to stay dry the rest of the way then today. Partly sunny skies to mostly cloudy skies then moving forward here for Lincoln. Maybe a gust or two up to 20 miles per hour, but temperatures today should be pleasant, reaching the lower 60s. We'll see this continue here for the rest of the work week with a couple chances for some frost and maybe even some freezing through the overnight hours. We'll take a look at that and more coming up in a few.
talk to you then. Thank you, Dominic. Breaking now, the U.S. House has advanced a farm bill to the U.S. Senate. This comes after months of uncertainty. The bill contains sweeping updates to food and agriculture programs, including SNAP. Nebraska Congressman Don Bacon sharing this graphic here, saying all 6 of Nebraska's priorities made it onto this package. The House's successful vote marks the farthest a farm bill has made it in Congress since most of recent reauthorization in 2018. The bill does face some uncertainty, though, in the U.S. Senate. Now to new developments in last weekend's shooting at the White House Correspondents' Gala. The suspect in the attack is back in court today. Yesterday, authorities releasing what they say are chilling new images of the alleged shooter. ABC's Olivia Rubin has those details.
Today, the man accused of trying to assassinate President Trump back in federal court. Prosecutors urging a judge to keep Cole Thomas Allen detained pending trial. Allen's attorneys conceding, agreeing to detention after previously arguing for release. And we're learning more about what authorities say were the events leading up to the attack. Law enforcement saying 31-year-old Allen took this selfie photo in his room at the Washington Hilton Hotel, weapons holstered to his body. Moments before they say he rushed downstairs toward the ballroom where Trump and Vice President Vance sat. In court filings, authorities saying Allen looked up the White House Correspondents' Dinner beforehand, even watching a presidential schedule tracker. And the Washington Post now obtaining this surveillance footage, capturing the moment authorities say Allen sprinted through the magnetometer with his guns and knives. Authorities say Allen fired his weapon once, a Secret Service officer firing multiple times before Allen was taken into custody unharmed. Now, Allen has not yet entered a plea to the 3 federal charges he's facing, one of which includes attempting to assassinate the president. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Right now, the CDC is warning to expect more measles cases in the next few months. With the travel season approaching and large events expected over the summer, additional cases are expected. Vaccinations against the disease at least 2 weeks before travel are recommended. The MMR vaccine is typically given in 2 doses, one at 12 to 15 months and then the second between ages 4 through 6. Those traveling to or living in an outbreak area with children may be eligible for an earlier vaccine between 6 and 11 months old. So far this year, over 1,700 cases have been reported across 36 states, including Nebraska. Although there has been just 1 case so far this year. CDC data shows about 92% of those cases are among people who are unvaccinated. Last year, the U.S. recorded the highest number of measles in 33 years. Developing now, we're learning a man accused of injuring a Lincoln police officer is also linked to a homicide case. That officer hit by bullet shrapnel at this Arby's. Police believe the suspect is this assault. Joseph Bertolino was also involved in a homicide at a Carter Lake, Iowa hotel. They say he made comments while in custody referencing events at that hotel where a body was found. That investigation is ongoing. The assault at Arby's near 27th and Nebraska Parkway happening around 10 o'clock Tuesday. A man and woman fighting inside. The gun went off during a struggle between the suspect and the officer. Channel 8's Daniel De Silva talked to people who live in the area and witnessed the action.
I have never seen that many cops in my life.
Neighbors like Brooke Bruchette recounting an unusual sight on South 27th Street and Nebraska Parkway. Officers were called to the Arby's about a dispute shortly before 10 p.m. Tuesday. Dispatch saying it sounded like a dispute between a man and a woman. Bruchette witnessing firsthand how events unfolded.
About 20 to 30 cop cars, about 2 unmarked vehicles, I think, with detectives, I assume, because they were in suits and stuff. A couple fire trucks and a couple ambulances just kept coming from each side of town. They just kept coming. It was crazy.
She tells me Arby's employees could be seen in the front talking to police. Another onlooker, Isabella Bree, recalls officers appearing to strategize before entering.
Couldn't tell who was shouting at who, but I thought it might be officers talking to one another and coordinating what they're going to do, but they seemed ready to take action.
Once inside, police found Joseph Bertolino of Jacksonville, Florida, held up in the restroom. A struggle began while trying to take him into custody.
During the fight, at some point in time, Bertolino was grabbing for the officer's sidearm and a round was discharged into the restroom floor.
The officer then deployed a taser to get Bertolino under control. He was later transported to the hospital for evaluation. The officer involved also getting treated at a hospital. Neighbors left in shock upon learning what happened.
Usually this is a safe neighborhood and nothing really concerning happened. So it was out of the ordinary for sure.
Danielle De Silva for Channel 8 News.
Thank you very much, Danielle. The Lincoln Police Union releasing a statement saying in part, quote, "We are grateful this officer was not seriously injured during this confrontation with this criminal. It's a stark reminder of the dangers our officers face on a daily basis." At this hour, Governor Jim Pillen is in London touting several Nebraska staples. The governor is highlighting Nebraska's beef ethanol production and exploring potential business opportunities. He's joined by European importers, chefs, and others in the culinary world, sharing everything that goes into Nebraska beef. He's also discussing trade opportunities around ethanol. He's expected to be back in Nebraska by tonight. And today, Democratic candidate for governor and Pillen's likely opponent in the upcoming November election, Lynn Walls, is participating in a listening session in Lincoln. Hosted by the Arc of Lincoln, they say it will be focused on issues affecting the developmental disability community. They have invited all gubernatorial candidates. They'll be at the Morrow Collision Center tonight at 5:30. A lot going on for you this midday, including some new data showing potential food crisis in many Nebraska families, how a local nonprofit is linking that SNAP benefits.
At Stanton, you get the best value. 2 pairs for just $79. A free eye exam, anti-glare made same day.
That's value you can actually see.
Smart, simple, Stanton.
What's Spectrum One? It's internet, Wi-Fi, and mobile working together as one. That means it's faster Wi-Fi on your phone.
It's boosted speeds for streaming whatever, whenever.
Let's go! And it's secure internet.
It's keeping kids like us safe online.
And it's saving $1,000 guaranteed, or Spectrum will cover the difference.
It's spending our money on better things.
Spectrum One. It's internet, Wi-Fi, and mobile working together as one. Switch today at spectrum.com.
At Ernie's in Ceresco, get the savings on furniture we usually reserve for our employees' families. It's Ernie's Employee Family Pricing Event. Save on our huge in-stock selection of furniture, mattresses, flooring, and appliances at Ernie's in Ceresco and Ernie's Mattress First in Lincoln.
When I decided to redo my garage floor, I called the Garage Floor Company in Lincoln, and it made a huge difference. They use high-quality materials that protect the floor from cracks, stains, and everyday wear. Now it looks clean, bright, and totally refreshed. It's super easy to keep clean, and I know it's going to last for years. Whether it's for your home or business, they do solid, professional work. Call the Garage Floor Company today for your free estimate. You'll be glad you did.
Your mom will enjoy sharing the excitement of the summer songbirds visiting the backyard bird feeder you got her for Mother's Day from the Wild Bird Habitat stores. Shop their 33rd annual Mother's Day sale today and bring a little bit of nature into Mom's backyard.
At Stanton, we sell great frames. All sorts of frames. Over 1,000 frames, starting at just $79.
I saved money and I see great.
Smart, simple, Stanton.
Right now, fewer Nebraskans are getting food assistance, even as hunger rises. New numbers show SNAP enrollment is down nearly 10% in the last year. Supporters say it's not because the need is dropping, but because some people are losing access to benefits. According to the group Nebraska for Us, 1 in 7 Nebraskans is facing hunger, including 1 in 5 children. And with nonprofits already stretched thin, there are growing concerns the system is not keeping up with demand. Nebraska Appleseed says losing SNAP in the state is a big deal and explains why we're seeing the drop in enrollments. And according to the Nebraska Appleseed, there are about 280,000 people.
The eligibility changes, they kicked all the refugee, asylees, and humanitarian visa holders off the program. And then they added work requirements to folks who'd never had to experience those before, including people who are homeless, certain foster youth, and veterans. So that naturally is going to mean lower numbers. Some people might be choosing to as well, but that is the majority, I'm sure.
According to Nebraska Appleseed, there are about 280,000 people in the state that are food insecure. More than 1 in 5 Americans haven't visited the optometrist in at least a year. and demand for weight loss drugs is going strong. Jane King explains in today's Wellness Report.
The huge popularity of weight loss drugs is helping Eli Lilly. It blew past estimates. Demand for its blockbuster weight loss drug Zepbound is off the charts. Also, the company's new GLP-1 pill for obesity called Foundayo just launched, so we don't have any sales numbers for that yet. Well, a survey of 2,000 adults looked at how respondents understand the importance of eye health and preventative care, and they found that Gen Z is the likeliest to have put off visiting the optometrist. Similarly, the survey from Talker Research on behalf of the American Optometric Association also found 20% of respondents haven't had an eye exam in the last year, though only 11% say it's been so long they can't remember when. Many are due for one, especially since the average American spends nearly 50 hours in front of screens per week. And Coors is going non-alcoholic. The Coors 0.0 will launch in the Northeast this summer to time with the World Cup, and it will be nationwide next year. The shift comes as consumers are rethinking their relationship with alcohol and embracing moderation or abstinence to be more healthy. From the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King. Here's to your health.
And quiet weather looks to continue through the end of the work week with some warmer weather than on the way for your weekend plans. I'll have the latest details in your full forecast coming up after the break.
Fellow flyers and possible drones. Here's ABC's Hannah Battah.
This morning, concern in the skies over San Diego. A United Airlines flight reported a potential drone as the plane was making its approach Wednesday morning.
I believe I just saw like a red small object, like about 1,000 feet below us to our right.
And do you know the direction it's moving by chance?
Probably towards the west.
Air traffic control alerted other pilots in the area, but did not receive any additional reports of drone sightings. United says Flight 1980 from San Francisco, carrying 48 passengers and 6 crew on board, landed safely, and customers deplaned normally at the gate. The airline found no evidence of a drone hitting the plane, but the FAA is investigating. Earlier in the week, on another plane, an unruly passenger threatening to get off the jet.
How long has it been delayed already? 3-4 hours, and now you're talking another hour? Get me to the gate. I want off.
Video posted on Reddit shows the man opening the door to a Delta flight on Monday while it was taxiing in Atlanta.
If we have a situation with a passenger, it's not going to be pretty.
The plane returned to the gate where law enforcement removed the passenger.
Off the plane.
And another passenger was removed from a Delta flight departing from Miami earlier this week for refusing to hang up on a phone call. Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Now, your Storm Alert Team Forecast with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro.
Well, hey, I've seen that outfit before. Kind of a crazy little deja vu moment there. But anyway, not too bad of a start to our day here in the capital city. We did get down to the mid-40s here for your low temperatures, which I will say was significantly warmer than the rest of the state. Mainly looking at the difference between, southeast Nebraska, 40s. Then as you head out towards the west, 30s, and a few spots there even into the 20s for the panhandle. So that definitely a cooler start to the day for our folks out towards the west. Unfortunately, though, that's going to be heading our way the next couple of days. So those of us with outdoor plants, now's the time to maybe have a plan to keep those inside. We'll break down what those temperatures look like over the coming days here in just a minute or two. But as we take a look here in Lincoln, ABC Seamless camera, a little bit of cloud cover out there. There's some sunshine poking through at North 48th and Corner Highway, but also some noticeable cloud cover that's going to be really sticking with us the rest of the day, and likely not going to see a ton of warming up here this afternoon because of that. Temperatures for the moment into the lower to middle and even upper 50s for us here in southeast Nebraska. Lower 50s and then a few spots hanging on to the 40s then as you head out west, but still 58 in Beatrice, 56 in Lincoln, 53 in Aurora. And the winds are out there and hopefully not too noticeable, but we could see some stronger wind gusts here throughout the afternoon. Right now between 10, 15, even closer to 20 miles per hour at time, mainly though out of the north, which is helping us have that just a little bit of a cooler feel in the air that we've seen over the past couple of days here. There's that look at that cloud cover. As we can see, got some of that here in Lincoln, but not far from us. There's a little bit of clearing, mainly looking up there towards Columbus, Greeley. But as we take a step back, very similar story for much of the state. Variable cloudiness from either partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies, especially south of Interstate 80. Looks to be a little more clear then as we head up towards the north. Stormcast, though, it has the possibility here for maybe a light shower or two. Very brief, though, in far northeast Nebraska. And then throughout the afternoon, just expecting that cloud cover to try and linger, though. We do clear out as we head towards the overnight hours, which will then set us up to see some of those cooler temperatures we were talking about for the start of your Friday. Clear here in eastern Nebraska, a little bit more cloud cover for the start of our morning commute in central and western portions of the state, with again another chance for a stray shower or two, mainly to the south of Interstate 80 in south central Nebraska as we head throughout your Friday afternoon. I think we stay dry, though, here in Lincoln through really the majority of the weekend and into the start of next week. Then plenty of clear skies here for any of those Friday evening plans. That looks to continue then into the start of our Saturday. Here's a look at your high temperatures today, ultimately on our way here to the lower to mid 60s in southeast Nebraska. Maybe a little more warmer than that if we can get some more sunshine in there, but I think that cloud cover is going to kind of limit how warm we get throughout the day. A fairly even spread of temperatures across the state between the upper 50s then to the lower to mid 60s. Here's a look at their low temperatures then tonight with your frost and freeze potential, with the chance for seeing some frost here in southeast Nebraska. Better chance at freezing temperatures then as you head towards that dark blue color in central portions of the state. Then out west may even see a hard freeze tonight and that's in that kind of a pink color there. So any outdoor plants likely want to just keep those indoors so we don't lose those here, especially as folks are trying to get those gardens going as we head towards spring and ultimately into the summer. Still a fairly cooler start for the start of May as we see our typical high temperatures this time of year in the upper 60s, still in the low 60s, and then ultimately those average high temperatures will reach the low 70s as we head into the weekend. So continuing to warm up then as we head throughout the week here. Start of May on Friday looks to be fairly sunny. That continues through the weekend. There's a tiny chance we could see a sprinkle or two at the end of our Sunday, but a little bit of a warmer start to next week. Then ultimately our next best chance of precipitation there coming on Tuesday. But other than that, fairly quiet pattern looks to remain in place.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Dominic. Happening today, Lincoln Police are recruiting on UNK's campus. Those interested in becoming a part of the team can apply, compete, and then test and interview all in one day. That written test has already ended this morning at Copeland Hall. They'll administer the physical test here from 12:30 to 3 o'clock this afternoon. The interviews will be back at Copeland Hall today at 3:30. Back in Lincoln, 2 nonprofits are receiving significant financial aid while tackling mental health. The UNL College of Business awarding $10,000 in grants to Hope Spoke and Lutheran Family Services. What's cool about this is it's all a student-run group that evaluates where the money goes. They look at 9 different nonprofits and then select which ones they feel are the most deserving. Developing now, King Charles and Queen Camilla bidding farewell today after their whirlwind U.S. trip. The 4 days spent in Washington and New York are capped with a wreath laying at Arlington National Cemetery and a commemoration in Virginia of 250 years since America's independence from Great Britain. ABC's Christian Cordero reports.
King Charles and Queen Camilla leave Washington today, basking in the sunshine. In 4 days, the royal couple's visit wove through the halls of Congress, then into various charities and causes between D.C. and New York.
At this reception, we can celebrate both my King's Trust and the enduring cultural bond between the people of the United Kingdom and the United States.
Each stop gathering more momentum that this trip, designed in part to mend fences, may have accomplished its goal.
We are determined to face the future together.
Their first official state visit as king and queen was also meant to commemorate 250 years of America's independence from Great Britain. King Charles often did so by looking back. Bye. Today, the couple attending various events, including a wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery. The 77-year-old monarch heads to Bermuda next with this renewed momentum. The question going forward is what lasting impact will this visit have on the political divide as each country faces challenges? Christian Cordero, ABC News, the White House.
Still ahead, historic highs where oil prices are at this morning and the next steps President Trump could be considering as soon as today.
Get an
Channel 8 News Midday.
Now to the war in Iran. Gas prices reaching new heights with oil prices skyrocketing overnight. Prices reaching $126 a barrel at one point this morning before leveling off. Meanwhile, gas prices are also at a wartime high, reaching $4.30 a gallon nationwide, according to AAA. Now, here in the capital city, citizen journalist Brian showing us $3.89. This is from yesterday, though. We have gotten recent videos showing more than $4 a gallon at the state average. Despite this news, Wall Street responding positively here. The Dow Jones up more than 700 points right now, thanks in large part to a solid economic report out this morning. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth back in Capitol Hill today, answering questions about the war. Here's ABC's Martha Raddatz.
This morning, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth back in the hot seat, appearing before the Senate Armed Services Committee just one day after getting combative with House lawmakers.
The biggest challenge, the biggest adversary we face at this point are the reckless, feckless, and defeatist words of congressional Democrats and some Republicans.
Hegseth and the military's top brass on defense, peppered with questions for nearly 6 hours about the ongoing war with Iran, which Pentagon officials now say comes with a price tag of $25 billion.
Mr. Secretary, you reserved more words and more time and more vitriol to condemn Democrats than you did for Xi and for Putin combined. It's pretty telling to me that you decided to use your words and your time for that.
The Iranians forcing the Strait of Hormuz to shut down and spiking oil prices.
I'm just asking if you know what your war costs the average American taxpayer.
What is the cost of Iran having a nuclear weapon that they wield?
I'm just asking if you know the cost of the average American taxpayer.
I'm asking you what the cost would be of that.
The defense secretary also asked to reconcile comments he's made about the threat Iran posed before the U.S. and Israel launched strikes against the regime.
So they haven't broken yet. Okay, we haven't gotten there yet for all of the...
Well, their nuclear facilities have been obliterated. Underground, they're buried, and we're watching them 24/7. So we know where any nuclear material
reclaiming
might be.
my time for
we're
just
watching
a quick
it.
second here. We had to start this war, you just said, 60 days ago, because the nuclear weapon was an imminent threat. Now you're saying that it was completely obliterated?
They had not given up their nuclear ambitions.
But Republicans also taking Hegseth to task over his firing of top military officials and blocking promotion for some others without reason or explanation.
You have the constitutional right to do these things, but it doesn't make it right or wise.
The secretary saying more firings could be on the horizon without offering a rationale. Martha Raddatz, ABC News, Washington.
All right, lots of cloud cover here in our Honda Lincoln camera this morning. A bit of a breeze as well. You can see the flag kind of at the top part of our screen, blowing a little bit in the wind there. Let's get an updated forecast now with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro. I haven't done that in a while, Dominic. Let's get an updated forecast, though.
Oh, man. Hey, pretty good streak there, so we'll take it. Yeah, no, I mean, this story that we're seeing here on the Honda cam and then down here in Beatrice, too, very similar story that we'll see then really for much of the day today. It looks like we'll have a little bit of cloud cover and a little bit of sunshine at times. Kind of just the best of both worlds there, but it'll be fairly pleasant, I'd say, even though we got a little bit of cloud cover out there, as we can see in your Shones roofing camera. Temperatures still here in the mid-50s to then upper 50s down in Beatrice. Same story there for Nebraska City. We're going to try and make our way then to the lower 60s as we head throughout the afternoon. Winds will try and stick with us too right now out of the north between 10, 15, even closer to 20 miles per hour at times. Might see a gust to 20 to 25 as we head throughout the rest of the afternoon too. The cloud cover though is probably going to stick with us the rest of the way. Variable at times, as we've seen here on several of our cameras. Sometimes it looks a little bit overcast out there and we've seen a little more sunshine, so it's likely going to continue then for the rest of the day. But any chances that precipitation look to be mainly off to either our south and west or off to the north and east. Here's a look at your forecast for the rest of the day. Temperatures are going to slowly climb here into the upper 50s and the lower 60s as we get close to dinner time tonight. On our way, though, to a fairly chilly evening ahead, both tonight and then once again here for your Friday evening. We'll have the latest on that forecast coming up in a few minutes.
We'll talk to you then. Thank you very much, Dominic. Developing now, Republicans are praising a major ruling at the Supreme Court, the conservative majority weakening the Voting Rights Act. They rejected Louisiana's congressional map based on race, opening the door for the other states to redraw their maps. ABC's Lionel Moyes explains how this makes an impact on upcoming elections.
A battle over election maps that could change the balance of power in Washington. Louisiana's governor wasting no time with plans to delay the state's primary elections next month so he can redraw the state's congressional map. This after the U.S. Supreme Court's conservative majority ruled that a recent Louisiana congressional map illegally used race when drawing up a new majority black district.
I think this whole race baiting race issue on the redistricting has been put to bed finally.
Justice Samuel Alito, writing for the majority, says that maps can only be challenged if they limit the power of minority voters intentionally. Justice Elena Kagan blasted the decision, saying it will allow states to dilute minority citizens' voting power in the, quote, latest chapter in the majority's now completed demolition of the Voting Rights Act. Democratic Congressman Cleo Fields represents the majority black district struck down by the High Court.
Congress need to move fast, at least during the next session of Congress, to pass a Voting Rights Act that has teeth in it.
Just hours after the decision, Florida's state legislature passed a controversial new map designed to flip up to 4 Democratic seats. The back and forth in red and blue states has turned the national map into a high-stakes game of math.
If you look at how the midterms shape up right now, if the election were held today, Democrats look like they have come out ahead in the gerrymandering wars. Donald Trump pressured Texas to start this fight. Democrats looking like they're the ones who will end it.
Experts say the full impact won't be felt until 2028. By then, Republicans no longer pressed for time could redraw more than a dozen more seats previously protected by the Voting Rights Act. Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
And while we've seen our share in Nebraska, the USDA is calling on agencies across the country to be ready for wildfire season. The Secretary of Ag directing the Forest Service to boost its preparedness. That includes increased staffing, improved safety measures for firefighters, and faster fire control. The USDA says it is fully prepared with 50,000 responders and contracted resources and a large aviation fleets. Now to a heartwarming story you only find on AIDS. A cat rescue is honoring the life of an important volunteer. Kearney Rescue Cats losing one of its most impactful volunteers. Now they're filling her shoes by continuing her passion to help those in need. RJ Coleman is following the story.
We're a pretty young organization, but Ella was in it from the beginning, and one of the fundraisers we targeted was doing shoe collection.
On March 22nd, Kearney Rescue Cats lost a special volunteer. Ella DeWeese passed away at 78 years old. She was one of the hardest working volunteers that was in charge of a shoe fundraiser that the organization worked with a company out of Florida, collecting and delivering thousands of shoes every year. After her passing, her family decided to honor her by having people donate their own pairs of shoes to dedicate her passion.
They're all telling us how much they enjoyed working with her and how much they miss her coming in.
Sherry Morrow, the founder of the organization, says more than 75 pairs have been collected and say to see the community support behind this just shows the impact Ella made, not just at the rescue, but in Kearney.
They came and brought those. It was just one more indication of how much effect she had on people, because many of the people that brought them weren't even in the rescue cat group or don't even have cats, to be honest with you. But they knew that that was her passion, and so that's why they wanted to participate.
She was described as reliable, responsible, caring, and always willing to lend a helping hand. And the rescue says it will be tough to move on without her, but she knows that's exactly what Ella would have wanted.
In trying to fill this void that we have right now with Ella's loss, that's kind of given us kind of a hold up, if you would, a little bit on how we can do some things, but we're working through it, and I know we'll get it handled, and that's what she would have wanted.
Reported in Lincoln, Jay Coleman, Channel 8 News.
Coming up after the break, a sea of green at UNL. We'll learn about a plant sale happening right now on the East Campus. clubs. Annual spring bedding plant sale is here through May 1st in the Teaching Greenhouse West. The Rangeland Management Club will also be selling plants through the 2nd in the Teaching Greenhouse East. Between the two sales, there will be grasses, herbs, flowering annuals, and more options. Both sales started at 9 o'clock and are going on right now. Costco making a change to its $1.50 hot dog combo, and oil refiners moved higher Wednesday as the chunk of oil isn't able to move in the Middle East. Here's Jane King with your Ag and Energy Report.
With a chunk of the Gulf crude unable to clear the Strait of Hormuz, U.S. refining margins are widening fast. Marathon has the most exposure of any large refiner, and Occidental Petroleum has the highest U.S. shale exposure among the super majors and almost no Gulf of Oman tanker risk. Now, the other big winner among independent producers is ConocoPhillips, whose Alaska and Permian businesses are entirely outside of the Hormuz risk. And Ford raised its profit outlook despite rising commodity costs. The company also expects a $2 billion profit hit from those rising commodity prices, such as steel and aluminum, almost double what it had anticipated. Ford's Model E electric vehicle business narrowed its losses from $849 million a year ago to $777 million during the first quarter of this year. And Chipotle's new protein menu items are boosting sales. Chipotle reiterated its forecast for no sales growth this year as its core customer continues to face economic pressure. The CEO believes the company is still pricing its meals at a 20 to 30% discount to its fast casual peers. And frugal fans of the Costco food court are now able to pair the quarter-pound all-beef hot dog with a 16.9-ounce bottle of Kirkland's signature water rather than soda at no additional cost. It's a seemingly minor modification that caters to foodies who just prefer the resealable bottles or they don't drink soda, looking to lower their sugar intake. This is the first change to the famous Costco combo in 40 years. From the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King with your Ag and Energy Report.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro.
And happy Thursday, everybody. As always, Thursday drought monitor day here. So we're starting out first with last week's data. As we can see, a fairly significant area of that kind of extreme red colored drought there for mainly central and western portions of the state. As you get out towards here in the capital city and in and around the Tri-Cities as well, that severe drought then tapering off then into portions of eastern Nebraska. But as we head then towards this week, some good news and some bad news. Some good news, we did see some improvement here in southeast Nebraska. The unfortunate news, though, as we head out here mainly towards the Panhandle, now that exceptional drought category, which is the highest level of drought that we have here for the U.S. Drought Monitor in portions of the Panhandle. So definitely going to need some moisture out there and likely several rounds of moisture before a lot of this gets sorted out here. Unfortunately, the long-term forecast for the moment is going to keep us on the quiet side too, but this is likely something then we're going to be dealing with through most of the summer ahead. So hoping then for some more rainfall then as we head maybe into the summer months coming up. Here's a look though in Beatrice. Here's Shones roofing camera once again as South 6 and Perkins Street. A little more blue out there than last time we checked that. So might see a little bit of sunshine here if you're heading out to lunch in Beatrice. Still 58 down there, 52 in Columbus and 53 in Grand Island. A couple spots though still hanging on to the 40s, but the majority is then as you head towards southeast Nebraska for the moment into the mid to upper 50s, including 57 here in Lincoln. It's 53 up in Omaha, 61 degrees though down in Fall City. So they're starting to see a few 60s out there as we get ready to head out to lunch. Winds still out there as well out of the north between 10, 15 and up to 20 miles per hour now here in the capital city. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a stronger gust or two the rest of the way too, but hopefully again nothing that should make being outside too much of a hassle this afternoon, and hopefully we can enjoy the nice weather out there too. There's a look at that cloud cover, mainly confined here just to the south. Looks like some heavier portions there getting closer than to Hastings, Grand Island, but some variable cloud cover for most of us, especially along and south of Interstate 80, but there's a little bit of clearing there just to the north, so that looks to be maybe heading down our way. It would be nice to warm up just a little bit during the early afternoon hours here. And so going forward, taking a look at Stormcast, we have a few passing clouds, maybe a sprinkle or two for northeast Nebraska. That looks to dissipate as we head down then towards us here in the capital city. And then we clear out as we head late into your Thursday evening, early Friday morning here. And then even by 8 a.m. heading out the door for work. Clear skies in Lincoln. Different story though as you head out towards Grand Island, Hastings, Kearney. They're going to be a little cloudier to start your Friday morning off. Then again, once looking at those afternoon chances for maybe a sprinkle or two for central portions of the state, south central there, and then getting down towards the Kansas-Nebraska border. And clear skies for most of us here as we head towards any of your Friday evening plans. That's once again going to allow for some chilly temperatures during the overnight hours heading then into Saturday. Your high temperatures this afternoon, lower to middle 60s, especially then if we can get a little bit more clearing out of those clouds. Still going to deal with that breeze though for much of the day today too. Tonight then temperatures down close to freezing. Could see some frost out there in southeast Nebraska. So you have any sensitive outdoor plants, now's the time to maybe get those inside for this evening. And once again then as we head Friday evening into Saturday, as temperatures will get close to freezing once again. We do warm up though as we head into the weekend with plenty of sunshine. Temperatures back into the 80s on Sunday. Maybe a sprinkle or two there, a stray shower, thunderstorm within the possibilities, but looks like our best chance for precipitation then comes up as we head towards next Tuesday.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Dominic. Coming up, disturbing new details in the murder investigation of a 14-year-old girl. Prosecutors say singer David allegedly carried out the killing.
Being a chief meteorologist isn't just a job, it's a passion. I care about every storm, every forecast, because this community matters to me. I've spent decades tracking Nebraska weather, and now I'm proud to be Lincoln's longest-serving chief meteorologist. This community has trusted me through snowstorms, heat waves, and everything in between, like top 10 days. Every forecast and every storm, my goal is simple, to keep you safe, because this is my community too. I'm Rusty Dawkins, chief meteorologist for Channel 8, and I'm not going anywhere.
For 50 years, Lincoln Mattress and Furniture has helped you feel right at home. During our 50th anniversary celebration, enjoy 50% markdown. Draw a golden ticket for extra savings. Get 12-month financing and a $300 gift card. Now at Lincoln Mattress and Furniture.
Most lawyers who market for personal injury cases have literally never taken an injury case to trial. The insurance industry knows that Friedman Law has the experience and know-how to present evidence in a jury trial, and that we're not afraid of taking cases to trial when necessary. Before you hire any lawyer for your injury case, ask them how many jury cases they've actually handled. You'll be stunned at the answer. Call Friedman Law, 402-476-1093.
Hear that? That's your garage door asking for help.
When parts wear out, it only gets worse.
Upgrade now and save 10% on openers and doors.
With Access Garage Doors of Lincoln. Don't stress.
Call Access.
Imagine relaxing on a beautiful new deck right in your own backyard. With Heartland Red Construction, Lincoln homeowners are transforming outdoor spaces into the perfect place to gather, grill, and unwind. Their award-winning team specializes in custom composite and PVC decks, built for quality, durability, and decades of enjoyment. Heartland Red has earned national recognition and multiple awards for customer satisfaction. That means quality you can trust. If you've been dreaming about a new deck, now's the time. Call Heartland Red today and schedule your free estimate.
Welcome back, everyone. Some new details coming out in the murder investigation involving singer David. Prosecutors are painting a graphic picture of the nature of the relationship between David and the 14-year-old victim. They say they know how the alleged killing happened, and we want to warn you, some of these descriptions are disturbing. Here's ABC's Andrea Fajii.
This morning, prosecutors offering new details about the gruesome death of a 14-year-old girl who they say was killed by the singer David. In court documents filed Wednesday, the prosecution claims David, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, met Celeste Rivas Hernandez when she was 11 years old, and they started a sexual relationship in 2023 when she was 13. He was 18. Prosecutors say they obtained text messages that showed a sexual relationship. In one, Rivas Hernandez allegedly texting David, "All we do is have sex and just hang out, man. I want more than that for myself." They allege in April of last year, she threatened to expose their relationship and destroy his career. It's alleged that she came to his Hollywood Hills home on April 23rd, where he stabbed her multiple times, just 2 days before his first studio album was set to be released. After the teen's murder, court documents allege David ordered 2 chainsaws, a body bag, a heavy-duty laundry bag, and a blue inflatable pool, all under a fake name. The filing goes on to say David used a chainsaw to dismember her body. David has pled not guilty, and his lawyers have said in the past they will vigorously defend David's innocence. Former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani believes Burke's defense will most likely argue that Celeste accidentally died from an overdose and Burke panicked, cutting up and hiding her body.
If they can somehow fall on that and avoid either the sex crimes or the murder itself, that would be a huge win for the defense.
The victim's remains were found in the trunk of David's abandoned Tesla last September, one day after she would have turned 15.
David's attorney wanted the legal brief that was released on Wednesday sealed, but a judge denied that request. He's due back in court next month. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Coming up, the new Uber partnership offering more perks, how travelers can save more time and money in their next trip.
For the quality furniture
ABC's Elizabeth Schulte has the details.
This morning, just ahead of the busy summer travel season, Uber is expanding into hotel bookings, announcing a new partnership with Expedia.
We've got the World Cup, we've got US 250. I mean, it's going to be a big summer of travel.
In a GMA exclusive from Uber's launch event, Expedia CEO Ariane Gorin and Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi sharing details about the new feature.
When you get into a city, what's the first thing that you do? You open your Uber app to figure out how to get to the hotel. So we figure we will get to the next step in helping you actually book travel, starting with hotels.
People can now go on the Uber app and directly book an upcoming stay at one of 700,000 hotels worldwide from Expedia's database.
Looks like you're just booking an Uber instead of a hotel.
Uber CEO showing us how it would work for a family trip to Chicago.
Uber app is pinging Expedia and saying, here's all the options to book
and then
hotels.
You got a map of everything. Why don't we check
Pulls
out?
up the price.
The company says booking this way can save users who pay $10 a month for an Uber One membership up to 20% off on hotels. And all bookings get 10% back in Uber credits.
Here it's saying you're saving $70.
Pretty good, right?
The launch comes as the Iran war is making travel a lot more expensive.
We've seen jet fuel prices double. Are you worried about flights getting canceled, there being shortages of fuel?
Well, certainly if you look, a lot of airlines are trimming their schedule for the summer because of what's happening with jet fuel. But there are still a lot of flights out there. People are still out there traveling, experiencing the world. Certainly if it continues, you may see people shifting to drive-to locations.
But with gas prices now up more than 40% since the start of the war, Uber drivers and riders are paying more too.
Any reaction, Dara, to people who say, gosh, Uber is just so expensive right now? Taking an Uber is a lot.
Well, I think life has become more expensive generally, and Uber is subject to those same factors.
Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News.
It's Hy-Vee's protein sale this Friday through Sunday. Get protein-packed savings on hundreds of items across the store, like Greek yogurt, just 99 cents. Hy-Vee cottage cheese, $1.88. Hy-Vee eggs, just 99 cents. Fresh ground beef, $3.99 for a 1-pound roll. Plus, save on Core Power, First 4 meat sticks, Protein Pints ice cream, pork chops, and more. This Friday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
From Naples to Nebraska, a family's passion crossed an ocean and landed here in Lincoln. For 48 years, the Knudsen family has crafted authentic Italian classics, pizzas bubbling with cheese, sauces simmered low and slow, and pasta that hugs every forkful. Through generations, tradition, and community spirit have fed neighbors and friends alike. Join us this April as we celebrate 48 years serving Lincoln. Bring your appetite, gather at the table, experience the flavor. Da Vinci's, from Naples to Nebraska.
Nebraska State Veterans Homes are here to serve veterans, their spouses, surviving spouses, and Gold Star parents. Join your fellow veterans and their families at one of our homes in Bellevue, Kearney, Norfolk, or Scottsbluff. With a sliding scale to determine your financial contribution, an excellent clinical team, and plenty of fun activities, our homes are the perfect retirement choice. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/homes. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I remembered.
Be prepared, be ready.
Everyone needs a photo ID to vote.
Come prepared with a photo ID, like a driver's license or state ID. You can learn more, including how to get an ID if you don't already have one, at voterid.nebraska.gov.
Don't forget this.
It's Nebraska's new law. You need a photo ID to vote. So when it's time to vote, let's bring it, Nebraska.
Still dealing with that cloud cover the rest of the day today, but we'll have a very similar story for your Friday, except this time with some more sunshine. Low 60s on Friday, upper 60s on Saturday, then ultimately into the 80s on Sunday. Small chance of rain there. Better chances for rain next week.
I think I earned that 80 on Sunday after sitting in the rain for soccer games last Sunday, Dominic.
No, absolutely. That was for you. So
thank you. Appreciate it. All right. GMA3 is coming up next, everyone. Hope you have a great rest of your Thursday.
At Comfort Made Mattress Factory, we build each mattress specifically for you right here in our locally owned store. We can even make his side different than hers, backed by our lifetime comfort guarantee.
Let your voice be heard by sharing your photos and videos to the Now Local News app. Earn points and redeem them for gift cards. Scan the QR code to join. From big moments to local victories, we're here for all the action. Sports stories that go beyond the scoreboard. Every team, every matchup, every night, we're on your sideline. Channel 8, bringing you Nebraska now.
It's our 50th anniversary at Lincoln Mattress and Furniture, and we want you to sleep right. Save now when you draw a golden ticket on any Perfect Sleeper mattress and take 1, 2, up to $300 off, plus 12-month financing. Now at Lincoln Mattress and Furniture.
When I decided to redo my garage floor, I called the Garage Floor Company in Lincoln, and it made a huge difference. They use high-quality materials that protect the floor from cracks, stains, and everyday wear. Now it looks clean, bright, and totally refreshed. It's super easy to keep clean, and I know it's going to last for years. Whether it's for your home or business, they do solid, professional work. Call the Garage Floor Company today for your free estimate. You'll be glad you did.
Stay ahead of the storm with Rusty Dawkins at 4:30, 5, 6, and 10.
It's time for GMA 3. King Charles and Queen Camilla on a whirlwind trip to New York. The King putting a spotlight on Lionel Richie.
I really minded easing singing this evening.
And now, where the King is headed next. Uber and Expedia teaming up to make booking your summer vacation easier and cheaper. We have exclusive details from the CEO on how it works, as Uber hopes to become a one-stop shop for travel. And it's finally almost time to hit the runway.
Am
I having a hallucination? After Meryl Streep threw down the gauntlet.
I'd like to see Travis Kelce do that.
How the Super Bowl champ is responding.
Oh, what?
Plus, the new star of The Devil Wears Prada 2, BJ Novak, is here. It's time for GMA 3.
Cannot wait for that one. Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm Elizabeth Tulsi.
And I'm Rhiannon Alley. We are here with Stephanie Ramos. We are so glad all of you are joining us on this Thursday. And a big congrats to Stephanie. Share your big news with the world.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, my first podcast called Blood and Water is out. First episode out this past Tuesday. It's an amazing story about how a cold case murder was solved. So we'll chat about it in just a bit.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions to ask about this podcast.
Plus, Tori Johnson, I mean, we're also excited about Jason's Deals. As always, she has a lot of Mother's Day gift ideas, all the great prices, and we have a lot of moms looking forward to that one.
Especially
all
on
of
this
us.
couch.
Exactly.
Oh, yes. I've got my eye on those flowers over there.
Absolutely. We're going to begin, though, with the major Supreme Court ruling on voting rights, weakening a key provision of a 60-year-old law from the civil rights era. The decision could impact the balance of power in Congress in future elections. Senior political correspondent Rachel Scott is at the court and has more. Rachel.
Hey, Rhiannon, good afternoon to you. Yes, it certainly could. This was a major blow to a key section of the Voting Rights Act, and it could have major implications on the upcoming midterm election as well as future elections. So let's start with this ruling. The High Court ruled that one of Louisiana's 2 majority black districts was improperly drawn and relied too heavily on race. So now with this ruling, there will be only 1 majority black district, even though black voters in that state make up 1/3 of Louisiana. Liberal justices warn this decision means that minority voters in the state will no longer have an equal opportunity to elect candidates of their choice. But this does not just impact Louisiana. Republicans are now pushing several states across the South to redraw their congressional maps before November's midterm election. So Republicans overnight in Florida passed a new congressional map that would allow Republicans to gain 4 seats in the midterms. South Carolina, Tennessee, and Missouri could try to redraw their maps before voting begins too. The bottom line here is this will significantly impact the future makeup of Congress, and ultimately, this could give Republicans an edge in future elections and in the midterms and beyond, guys.
Absolutely. A major blow to a landmark civil rights law. Thank you so much, Rachel. Great to see you. Now to the royal couple taking a bite out of the Big Apple. Chief international correspondent James Longman is here with the details on King Charles and Queen Camilla's whirlwind visit to New York City. James, great to see you in person.
Thanks for having me.
Have you slept?
Not a lot. I imagine less sleep though than the King and Camilla. Yeah, look, it's been an extraordinary trip actually. They had a whirlwind yesterday. They started off at the 9/11 Memorial, went to Ground Zero to pay their respects. We then had Camilla and the King split off in different directions. So I think Camilla went to the New York Public Library. There was a literacy event. She was there with Sarah Jessica Parker. There she is there.
So neat.
And she read to children. She read Winnie the Pooh actually to some children. And then the King went up to Harlem to an urban farm, and there was this woman who grabbed his arm and she said, "Thank you so much for what you said to Congress," which was a pretty extraordinary moment. I mean, I think the palace are probably worrying about Andrew, people heckling, about Epstein, stuff like that. That's not what they've seen on this trip. Last night there was a gala which was attended by people like Lionel Richie. There were all the stars out for that. And then today they will say goodbye. Their trip will end.